I didn't headbutt him. He headbutt me. Then Mike started telling everybody I'm a headbutter. Then all of a sudden the thing come out, Evander's a headbutter. I said, my head hurt too. I was acting like it didn't hurt. Cause my mama told me what's gonna happen if you give in to that, he gonna do it again. And it worked. That he ain't headbutt me no more.
Hey everybody, welcome to a very special episode of Hot Boxing. Off the fucking hook, baby.
That'd be so cool.
I'm Evan Britton.
I'm Mike Tyson.
And Mike, we've got the champ, Evander Holyfield in the house.
Go for it, 5-time champ, heavyweight champ.
Unbelievable.
The real deal Holyfield, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
What you doing in town, man?
Well, you're down here for this.
An event?
Yes.
Awesome.
Evan, ask him some questions, man.
I just want to first start it off with, I think it's awesome that you guys have this relationship that you have. You know, the battles that you've been through. It's like Clash of the Titans with you guys, man. And talk about a little bit about how you got to this point of being friends after some of the viciousness that you guys went through and put each other through.
I don't know. How do you explain it? You know, we've known each other for a long since we were kids.
Oh, wow.
You know? And I remember, let's just start from the beginning.
Yeah, let's start from the beginning.
Let's just start from the fucking beginning. This is going to be awesome, right? You know, I started doing the amateur boxing in 1980. I won the National Junior Olympics. Then in 81, I won them again. I guess, and then 82, I won the National Junior Nationals again and stuff. And then I went, I guess, to Ohio Fair. But I fought in some other championships too, and I met these guys. I met guys from all over. I met Todd Hickman. I met Ricky Womack. I met all these guys. Frank Tate. I met all these other amazing fighters from different parts of the country, and they were always successful fighters, the best fighters. We always know when they entered the tournament they were going to win this and that, and we were all winning. Then one day, I came to the Ohio State Fair to fight in that championship. And then everybody had said, Ricky Womack lost, Frank Tate lost. And everybody's like, who beat them? Who fucking beat them? I don't know, some guy named Holyfield, I don't know his name, Holyfield, I don't know his name. They never said his first name, Holyfield, who the fuck is that? You know, so that was the word going around. So that's how I first became aware of him.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was 16.
Wow, when you first heard the name.
Yeah.
How old were you then?
Well, I was 20.
Oh, wow.
So I hadn't made it to the Pan American game yet.
That's amazing. Where did you grow up, Evander?
I grew up in Atlanta.
Grew up in Atlanta?
Yes.
And when did you start boxing?
Started at 8 years old. I coming in from the football field, and
oh, wow.
And I wanted to hit the speed bag. But the man said, you got to be on the boxing team. I said, well, I want to be on the boxing team. He said, nope. And for 4 days, he kept saying no. Then on that Friday, and I looked at him, he looked at me and just shook his head, and I ran up there anyway. And he let me in, and he told me, I don't want you to hit the speed bag, I want you to hit the heavy bag. So I hit it with all that I can, and I knocked the skin off my knuckle. And he started laughing. When he started laughing, I just kept hitting it like that. And he said, you're good. I said, well, thank you. He said, do you know you could be like Muhammad Ali?
Wow.
I said, I'm only 8 years old. He said, you won't always be 8. And when he said that, I knew next week I was gonna be 9. So I believed him. So he asked me, what did I think? I told him I had to ask my mama. And he said, what? I said, I got to ask my mama. So he told me, he said, go ask that good mama that you got and see what she say. I said, mama, she's what? I said, the white man at the boys club said I could be like Muhammad Ali. And my mama said, do you know what they're going to do to you? And I said, well, no. She said, they're going to hit you. When she said that, I looked at her, and I started laughing. I get 3 whoopings a day. All my brothers and sisters get a chance to hit me, and I can't even hit them back. So my mom said, well, you can't hit them back. Like that, and she told me I can get on the boxing team. I go in the bathroom, I looked in the mirror and say, Evander Holyfield, the heavyweight champion of the world. It didn't sound good, but I said it. I kept saying it every time I go to the bathroom. I like this because I really want to make my mama proud. And so I go back and tell Mr. Morgan, my mama said I could be the heavyweight champion of the world. And he looked and said, what? I said, my mama said I could be the heavyweight champion of the world. Now I'm thinking this overnight. And he said, son, sit down. Let me tell you this. I don't have that much time because he was 60 years old.
Who was 60?
Mr. Morgan. And he said, I ain't got that much time. He said, do you know what fantasy is? I said, no. He said, all right. He said, because I got to know, he said, because I ain't got that much time. He said, this is what a fantasy is. Fantasy when you want to do something, but you ain't willing to work at it. He said, oh, so is this a fantasy or a goal? He said, because I ain't got that much time. I said, well, a goal? He said, okay then, you fight tomorrow. The next day, they put me on the gloves and stuff, and like that. He said, see that kid right there? I said, yes, sir. He said, when the bell rings, I want you to run out there as fast as you can and hit him in the nose. And I said, okay. So I look at the kid, and that coach told him to run over and hit me in the nose. And so my coach already know what my mama had told him. He needs to listen, follow direction, don't quit. Now, if you don't make him do that, then he's not going to box no more. I said, okay. The bell rang. I run out there, and the other kid run out there. So the white kid got close to me, and he closed his eyes. I didn't close my eyes. I hit him red in the nose. And he started crying. He said, oh, God. And started crying, and the referee stopped the fight. And Mr. Morgan get caught up in the ropes trying to get in there, and he get through, and he said, do you know what you done? I said, you told me to hit him in the nose. He said, yeah. You took your first step in being the heavyweight champion of the world. Like this, and
wow.
And they give me this trophy. So when I come home there and I show the trophy to my mama, and my mama put that smile on her face and she put it on the shelf, everybody that came in the house would say, Miss Holyfield, who is the boxer? And she would look and she would smile and say, that little one right there. They say he limped. My mama said, but he can fight. And that started off. Then all of a sudden, I won another trophy and another trophy. And my mama liked trophies. So I finally felt like I was a part of the family because I could do something real well.
Talk about your tournaments. When's your first tournament?
Well, of course, and from that point on, I ran about 4 or 5 fights. Then all of a sudden I get 12, and this Junior Olympic time. Then now I'm fighting kids all over the state of Georgia. And
That's fun though. You see so many fighters you never knew existed, right?
right, then you had.
And everybody's talking, that's such and such, that's such and such, that's such and such. I saw him win the Nationals twice. I saw him win the World Tournament. I saw him win the Olympics. And everybody's names going, everybody's wearing their badges that they won their tournaments, and fuck the champ of the world.
Now.
He's just a kid. He's the best fighter in the world. Everybody's losing their mind.
Yeah, so here it is. In my first loss, I'm like, I fight this kid now. My brother had told me white boys couldn't fight. And I thought he was telling the truth because all the white boys I fight, they say, oh God, and they like this. But all of a sudden, my coach, Mr. Morgan, who white, told me, he said, are you afraid of this kid here? And I looked at him. This kid was different from the other white kids because he didn't have no velvet trunks on, and he have his initials, and his mom and dad went with it. And his hair was long. And the other
He's a
kids,
ringer, huh?
all these other kids had the short hair. And all of a sudden, Mr. Morgan asked me now. I said no, because I looked at him because he's white. Now, wow, regardless to how you look, they're still white. So that's what my thinking was. Then all of a sudden, the bell rung. Mr. Morgan said, hit him in the nose. Boy, I hit this boy right in the nose, and he hit me back.
Yeah, that's an interesting feeling, huh?
But so for the whole time, me and him went toe to toe, and the bell rung. That's my first time ever hitting the bell rung. Now they used to call me one punch Holyfield because I just stopped all the other fighters. I stopped them. Now all of a sudden, I go back to the corner. Mr. Morgan said, "What's wrong?" I said, he hit me back. He said, welcome to boxing. And so all of a sudden, go out that second round, me and this guy, we go toe-to-toe for a minute and a half like this. And Mr. Mark said, what's wrong? I said, he hit me in the stomach. He said, hit him back in the stomach. Then all of a sudden, the third round, and the bell rung. Mr. Mark said, you got to go back out and see who won. And he said, the winner, Cecil Collin. And everything just went quiet. Man, and I started crying and I started hollering and told Mr. Morgan I didn't like him no more. I told him I quit. Like this. And so I was crying and they were trying to get me to be quiet. I'm like, man, I was so mad. Now, all of a sudden, I told Mr. Morgan I ain't like him no more. And all this, and I quit boxing. I go home and I tell my mama, and my mama say she didn't raise a quitter. So what that means? She said, you going back? And she said, I don't care how many times you're losing, you going back. You don't quit. Now you go back. And so, come Monday, I went back. Mr. Morgan asked me, so why are you doing here? I said, my mama said I had to come back. He looked at me, did I not tell you had a good mama? So I'm mad even more because I don't want to box anymore. And so Mr. Morgan asked me, he said, why were you so crying and angry? I said, because you told me I could be the heavyweight champion of the world. He said, well, you can still be the heavyweight champion of the world. I said, I lost. He said, son, you didn't lose? I said, they gave him the trophy. And he said, yeah, because he got the decision. And I said, well, did that mean I lost? He said, no, you did not lose. I said, then, why they didn't give me the trophy? It's because you didn't get the decision. I said, well, that mean I lost? He said, no, you lose when you quit. When you ain't no boxer no more. When you change your mind, you ain't gonna box no more, that means that you lost because you quit. He said, if you don't quit, you eventually gonna be the champion. It's not time for you to be the heavyweight champion of the world now today. But I thought that Ali was undefeated. I thought that's the only way you could be. He said, it ain't time yet. If you don't change your mind, you're gonna become the heavyweight champion of the world. So all of a sudden, I go, and so it built my confidence up. So I'm gonna have to fight this white kid again. And I fight him, and he beat me again. And I started crying. So I realized that if I tell my mama, she gonna make me go back. So I figured I'd make a sacrifice. I won't eat today. And my mama won't ask me no question. So I come home, and I take a shower, just get into bed, and I hear my mama ask my brother, where Chubby at?
Is your name Chubby?
Yeah, that was my nickname, was Chubby.
Oh
And my brother said, he don't feel good. And I knew that was the wrong answer. Because who gonna tell a good mama that the kid don't feel good and she's not gonna go in there?
Right.
I hear her walking, boom, 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 boom. So I act like I was asleep. And she turned on the light, and I know she had to be holding her hand on her hips. And she's just looking. And I'm wondering, when is she gonna leave? My eyes started blinking, and she said, boy, you don't open them eyes, I knock them eyes in your head. I opened my eyes. I said, ma'am? She said, what's wrong with you? I said, I just don't feel good, Mama. She said, you know that's not the answer. And she put her hand on her hips and she said, who won that fight?
Oh, no.
When she said that, I realized that, if you lie to my mama, it ain't over then. Whenever she find out the truth, you getting to whooping. So I found that I already lost one shot. So ain't no sense again to whoop again. So I told her the truth. I lost. She said, well, okay then, you got to go back, don't you? I said, yes, ma'am. So I realized I got out that bed and went on in to eat. Because my mama done found out that that's the only reason why I wasn't going to eat, because I ain't wanted to tell her the truth. So I told the truth and I ate. Then all of a sudden, then I turned 13, and that's when everything changed.
What happened?
Because what happened when I turned 13, now, this guy Cecil Collins, I was looking for Cecil Collins, because whatever Cecil Collins weighed, I wasn't going to weigh the same thing. So, we used to fight at 100 pounds. So I brought a 5-pound weight with me, because I wasn't going to fight Cecil Collins, because he the only white boy that could beat me. Now, all the other white boys can't beat me. Now, Cecil Collins can, but nobody else. Now, I'm going to dance around Cecil Collins. So I bring this 5-pound weight. So I had 4 of my friends who got on the boxing team. And because they know who win the tournament, get to go out of town. And so this is going to be our first time staying in a motel. So they told us what we're going to do.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Oh, shoot, man.
That's super exciting.
Everybody jumped in there. So all my friends, they ain't fought yet. They don't know that white boys can fight. So they don't know that. So we go to the tournaments, and they go in the weigh-in, and they see all white boys. So now, all of a sudden, they said, Holyfield, we know we gonna beat these white boys. I zipped it up. So I ain't said nothing. They say, man, these white boys, they can't fight. So we all win the first night, the second night, and the third night.
That's interesting.
So all of a sudden, we came to the final. So we had to fight 2 times in one day.
I remember we used to do that twice a day.
Yep.
3-round fights?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So
3-minute rounds.
And so all of a sudden, come that evening, so they take us to Burger King. So we all had Whopper, French fries, and shakes. So the first guy lose, the second guy lose, the third guy lose, the fourth guy lose. So I was the last one. They said, Evander, we had cramps. I said, well, I ain't got no cramps. They said, you still gonna lose? I said, no, man, I would lose, but my mama gonna get me. So your mama was the excuse. I said, my mama said, if I'd be the only one to show up, then I have to do it, man. They said, well, you gonna lose anyway? I said, no, I'm not. So they said, that guy that Cecil Collins? I said, he didn't show up. Then they said, then what is his name doing right here? I see this kid's name, and I start crying instantly. I couldn't hold back the tears. And then they said, see, you crying already. So all of a sudden, they followed me to the gloving table When they get to the gloving table, they see this white kid. They say, "You see Sakala?" He said, "Yeah." They said, "You beat Holyfield?" He said, "Yeah." "You gonna beat him again?" And he said, "Yeah." Then they said, "I told you gonna lose," and I just started crying right in front of that kid. I started crying, and so the people that ran the organization knew who I am, and they told me I ain't got to fight him. And I said, "No, my mama gonna get me." They said, "They not gonna tell." Now I can try to whoop Cecil. I can't try to whoop my mama.
So you were very intimidated of your mother?
Oh, shoot, man. But whatever my mama said goes. So you know what? What I did, I prayed. Now, this is how I end up praying for all my whole life. Because my mama taught me how to pray. And one day, my mama was whooping me. And she was whooping me too long. And I called Jesus. And my mama stopped. She stopped. And she was so mad, and she was, I can feel the heat off her face that she wanted to hit me again, but she didn't hit me. And so my mama whooped me again one time, and I called Jesus. She stopped again. So I realized I want to win so bad that I didn't care. And I just said, saying, "Please, Jesus, help me." And my friends them started laughing at me. He said, "He called it Jesus." And they laughed at me all the way up to the ring. Like this, and Mr. Morgan, my coach, didn't say nothing. He said, "Now, you know if you cry, they gonna stop the fight. Just do your best." And I went out there, and I beat him.
For the first time, huh?
My first time.
Wow.
And from that point on, I prayed every fight. Like that. I lost 9 other times, but
That's amazing.
When did you meet me? Do you remember ever meeting
all right, I met you in 84.
84. That's
84. 84.
Wow.
We both on the losing squad, man. We
What?
both on the losing squad.
Where were you guys?
in the Olympic trials.
Olympic trials?
Yeah, mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. And the first time you guys fought, was that first fight? Was that the first fight? What year? 90?
Yeah, in 96.
96?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was your first fight ever.
And we sparred.
We sparred 1
Yeah.
or 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Okay, so you knew each other.
Yeah.
Well, I watched the first fight this past week. I watched it. And,
but before that, we got to talk
Yeah,
more.
yeah. Go more.
We at the Olympic trials. We're not at the trials no more. We at the Olympics because he won. He beat the guy that beat him twice, so he's on the Olympic team now, right? So I'm watching the fight, and I'm watching him fight. I think it's Ken Berry.
Kevin Berry, yeah.
Ken Berry. So I'm watching him fight. But I'm watching him kick the other couple of guys' asses before he got to that guy. And we say, "Fuck yeah," right? And so when he fought Berry and the bell said bing, he hit them, boom, he knocked him. The guy was already beaten. He didn't really win. That was just a God blessing that he got that Vander hit him. And for him it was. And then what was I doing? I was walking somewhere and I had some girls with me, and I heard somebody say, "Hey, Mike!" And it was him. He was walking down the street, and I just saw him lose the fight. He was by himself. And then we went to a restaurant.
Yep.
Wow. What'd you guys do?
Just sit down,
Just chill?
talking about our fucking fights. And I remember him saying this. I gotta fucking remember the car. What was it? A Riviera? He said, "Fuck, I can't get my Riviera now. I lost. I can't get my Riviera. I guess somebody promised him if you win the Olympics, I'll get you this car." And he said, "Fuck, I can't get my car now."
Yeah. Ken Sanders. And then the promoter that were gonna promote me, he had a car dealership.
Yeah.
Buick.
Oh, wow.
And now I think of it now, we had so many cars since then, and that time that was just so important to him. He couldn't get a fucking Riviera.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even give a Riviera to a gift for somebody. But back then it was so important. A
Yeah.
Riviera, fucking, yeah.
That's so funny. So how did you guys feel when the fight got put together, how did that come about?
No, we had the fight before and it got postponed.
Oh, really?
In 91, I guess it was, right?
Yeah, 1991, yeah.
91.
How did you guys feel? How did you feel, Mike? Because you knew him and you guys had been close and you probably had a lot of respect for
This
him.
is interesting to discuss that. See, at first, when we first was going to fight, he was champion.
Yeah.
He was champion. And then when I went to prison and came back, I won the title. Then I was the champion. He was
The challenge.
trying to regain the championship.
In 96.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you feel about that, Evander?
Well, it was just, actually, it showed me, because me and Red Bow fought the fight, and I had hepatitis, and
What's
they,
that?
I had some bad seafood, and this stuff, like, it can almost kill you.
Yeah.
And so your energy up, then it drops, up and it drop like this. But they told me to pull out. But I realized I'm not getting ready to miss this $9 million. I'm getting $9 million. And I don't train, I had already been training, I had trained 10 weeks already. So I got 3 more weeks. And I told him, I said, I don't care. I'm not pulling out. And the doctor told me, he said, Evander, I advise you, he said, your stomach is gonna mess your stomach up. I said, I didn't care. And Reddy Bow can fight too.
Yeah.
And God, dog, I had him, then all of a sudden, my energies had left. I knocked him down. I couldn't finish him. And the next round, he catch me in a shot, hit me in the back of the head, and like that, and they start to fight. Now, to see him jump around the ring, happy and all this and stuff, and I was like, I was just glad the fight was over. And I knew that life was about recovering. And so I think my next fight, I fight a Bobby Chess. And so Bobby Chess was the first guy that I fought that I was bigger than. So everybody expected me to knock him out cold. But Bobby Chess put up a fight that was tough. But Bobby Chess went back to the corner and said his back would hurt. And then his corner people told him, no, you got something in your eyes. and so he goes along with the story that he got something in the eyes. So they stopped the fight, and they tucked my gloves and all that on the check, make sure I ain't got no ointment that I put in the thing. But they caught it on the television that he said his back was hurting, and the guy told him he had something in his eyes. And they found that wrong then, and then after that, I said, then I get a call saying that they discussion, they want me to come to Canada for a discussion to fight Mike Tyson. And so, my whole thing, and everybody was talking about, because Don King was saying, Evander got 1 feet in the graveyard and 1 on the banana peel. It's impossible for him to win this fight. And so,
What a dick.
and that process, and they were still talking, and then it looked like the fight getting ready to take place. Then they go and say, so the Christian people start protesting. Say, Evander Holyfield got a bad heart and all this and stuff like that. They protested so much, so they told Don King, you got to send him to the Mayo Clinic. My thought, they didn't want a Muslim to be a Christian.
Oh.
And so
Crazy.
So they made it go to the Mayo Clinic, and the Mayo Clinic came back and said, if that's anybody that can live to 100 years old, our money is on Evander Holyfield. He have no contusions or nothing. He said, we know he get hit, but ain't nothing showing that anything, no kind of effect on him. And so Don King running back with that letter, showing everybody, I got it. And so it just showed that I was in good health. And that's how everything came to the fight being made.
Wow. How long did it take because the hepatitis, you got that taken care of before that all went down? What was the treatment for that?
Hey, it wasn't nothing more at the time.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just like my whole thing is that the guy told me, he said, the doctor told me, he said, hey, Vander, you don't want to go in like that. And I started saying, you don't understand, that's $9 million.
Yeah.
That's $9 million. I told him, I had never pulled out a fight a day in my life. I had never pulled out a fight.
Yeah.
And I was like, saying, no. And plus, I had already trained 10 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got them 3 more weeks.
Yeah.
And so he was telling me this stuff gonna mess with me for a whole week. I said, well, but I got 2 more weeks. I got 2 more weeks for the fight. This is the way I thought. And,
Yeah.
I had this thing where that I ain't never want to pull out nothing. I had this thing that I was looking at all the fighters. I said, I want to be the fighter who did everything right. Did everything right. If I did everything right, that's the only thing I can say. I did everything right. I want to do the very best that I could. And shoot. And doing the very best that I could, I got tore up that time. And I said, well, I just forgive myself and said, I'd never do that again. I'm sick again. I'm out of there.
Yeah.
I'm out of there.
Well, that probably just goes back to you being a little kid, and not your mom never letting you quit.
Well, yeah. The process was my mother said, man die only one time, a coward die 1,000 times.
Oh, wow.
Stand up, son, stand up. Now, don't let this stuff happen to you, because I used to run for fights all the time. So I run real fast. I run real fast and I can hit real hard. And so if I hit you and you didn't fall down, you ain't gonna catch me. I was fast. I was a good runner and hit hard. And everybody know if I get one shot on your behind and like this, my brother say, if you don't knock him down with that shot, run.
Vander, what did you think when we all turned pro and I just started soaring to the top?
So what?
What did everybody think? What did you think when we all turned pro in '84, and you made that big professional debut in Madison Square Garden with Mark and everybody, and everybody was winning, and we started getting our cars, and all of a sudden I got my promotion and I just started soaring up.
Well, the thing is that it was kind of
What were you thinking with the shit I was saying when I was?
Well, my thinking was, my whole thing that everybody had their way of doing things. I'm telling you, you had your way and Mark Breland and everybody else had their way. Now mine was a little different. Mine was to be quiet, don't say nothing. My mama says, son, let me tell you something. If you zip it up, you ain't gonna have no pressure. Don't let them get you in their battle. If they get you in that battlefield, they gonna beat you. He said, let them say what they want to say. So I seen everything come around.
He never said nothing bad to me. I said miserable things to him. He never said nothing bad about me.
Well, because I remember, because Mike said on TV, and he said, well, Evander, he liked being around white people because he liked for them to tell him what to do, like this. And I'm like, and it was an ABC fight, and he was saying that. So they got me on it, and they asked me, what do you feel about what Mike said? I said, well, you got to understand. I said, Mike younger than me. I said, Mike really don't know. I said, so I ain't got nothing to say about it. And they said, what? But he said this. I said, but Mike don't understand it. I said, it's okay. And they go, and so after I get out, then this other guy comes and says, he said, man, who told you to say that? I said, I said, my mama said, we don't embarrass each other. Just because somebody else says something bad, you don't do it. My brothers and sisters used to always say something bad about me. My mama said, don't you let them bring you down that way. I said, so that's the whole thing. So I learned to being able to accept people for who they are and see. But Mike was the person that I seen work hard. Mike worked harder than anybody in the gym. When me and Mike on the losing squad, Mike worked hard and knock everybody out and when they spar with it. So my whole thing, and I was like saying, and I was like, with me, I had my buddy Virgil here. I said, look, hey, come on, man. Let me come back down. Let's go back with Mike them lead. I want to see how he hit that bag like that for all that time. I said, Mike used to hit the heavy bag, and for 3 whole minutes, he hit that thing as hard as he can, like this and stuff. And I'm like, man, how in the world did he do that? God, dog. I watched him. Everybody say, God dang, he hit that thing hard too. I just get the clock, hold the clock, and then I'm gonna hit the thing 3 minutes just like him. I do about 1.5 minutes or 2, and like something standing on my shoulder. And I was just trying to throw no combination.
I used to see you work out immensely hard too. I used to see him we used to work out in Texas, Abercrombie. Remember that?
Yep.
In Texas somewhere, out in nowhere, Texas. And man, Virgil here, they used to be doing sprints just around the whole thing, man. It must have been a mile. It's one time around there, sprint and all that. It's working hard. It's like a slave camp for gladiators.
Yeah.
It's working hard. That's all we did was work hard.
Just training. It's amazing. Mike, how did you feel when Evander didn't have any reaction to what you were saying?
I used to say he's a good guy. I always knew he's a good guy, but I was always ego-driven.
Yeah.
You know, my world was all about me. Everything that happened was about me, you know? I needed people around me. I needed you gotta obey me, this and that fucking shit. Get my car. I needed that fucking, if I didn't have that, I was nothing.
In other fights with other people, when you would do your talking, would anybody react to that? Or were people kind of scared of what you were saying?
Well, I want them to react.
Yeah.
That was the game for them to react.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think it's interesting Evander's approach. He was like, hey.
No, he didn't react. I want people to react. I want to get in people's head.
Yeah, you wanted people to be like, oh, yeah.
And he was a professional. He would never.
Yeah, that's
actually, my mama told me, my mama said, let me tell you something. Don't let him get in your head. He said, you zip it up.
Is it about me? Don't let me get in your head.
My mama told me, my mama didn't know nothing about boxing, but she said, look, don't let him get in your head and get you to be like him. He wins the fight if he gets you like him. He said, look, his job is to get you to act like him, and he gonna win his fight if you get him like this. He's like, no, you don't get angry, don't act like you angry, and don't let him talk you into it.
Yeah.
Like that. This is what my mom said. She ain't know nothing about boxing, but everything that my mama told me worked.
Yeah.
She said, all right now, you don't sit here, get into somebody else's game. Don't say nothing, it's okay. Let them wonder what they want to wonder. She said, let me tell you something. If you just be quiet, he said, they mind to get them themselves. You ain't got to say nothing. If you don't say, just don't say nothing.
Yeah, no, I think that's a masterful technique, man. Well, it's interesting to me watching Mike's fights and then watching you guys fight. And most of the fights you've ever been in, Mike, it looked like you just outmatched your opponent with energy and tenacity. But in your guys' fight, Evander was fucking bringing that same energy and intensity. And how did that feel for you as you were preparing for the fight? Because you guys knew each other for so long. And what was your mentality like preparing for that battle?
I don't know. I just what did I say? I said, fuck, this fucking guy can't beat me. What the fuck am I worrying about this fucking guy for? You know, what was I waiting about? What happened to I came out of prison. Right? And I beat who did I beat? I beat 3 guys, and then I got 2 belts. I unified the title, and then I guess they stripped me for one of the belts. Right?
Yeah.
WBA, they stripped me for one. They didn't want me to have all the belts. Listen, man, they hated on me so bad when I first came out, because I came out with a vengeance. I think everybody was the fault that I went to prison. It was everybody's fault I went to fucking prison, and everybody treated me bad when I was in prison and talked bad about me and this and that and this and that. So I came out there like I need revenge, and people have to respect me and all that bullshit, right? So I was in there. I thought I was mad. I'm gonna win this fight. But when the fight started, I hit him in the body. Do you remember? I hit him with a great body punch. And then he came back with some shit. He had kept fucking shit. I said, oh shit. And then we were fighting, and something happened. I threw a punch him in the body, and I went down, and when I was down, the referee started counting. I said, you fucking asshole. I was yelling at him, and then he went back to the corner. And I said, all right, we're fighting. And then we went fighting. And a couple of stops, he counter punched me with some shot. I couldn't feel the punch. Boom! My legs were going all over the place, but I wasn't going down. I kept coming back. I wanted to fucking bite him then, right? And I was just we were just fighting, and the referee stopped the fight.
Oh my God. Evander, how about you? What was your mindset and your game plan going into that?
Well, the thing is that I realized that Mike worked hard, but I started seeing when they got rid of Kevin Rooney, and so I realized that's when I started to realize, oh, he Norman now. Mike might step off his right foot, may hit you with something. So they put Mike in a kind of like a pattern, a 1-2. Before he do something, he gonna go this way, then this. And so I know what to look for. At first, it was always like, you don't know which hand he gonna punch with. When he started going, he was shifting like this, so he can punch off this side and this side. So all of a sudden, he got to the punch, he only punch on this side. And so I knew, okay, he hit me with this left hook, I can block the left hook and all this, and then if he throw the right hand, it gonna be short, because I'm gonna be leaning back. So I knew how to get him. So the whole big thing is to set myself up for the counter shots. Okay, if he beat me to the shot, then I knew what he gonna do. So every time he fights somebody, I never miss not one of Mike's fight, because my mama said, you can't wish some people away. If a person is good, you think they just gonna fade out? My mama said, you're gonna face them. They're not going anywhere. So you can't wish people away. So I realized that she said, you're not gonna wish him away. He gonna always be there. So I realized that, and he was. But Mike, the only fighter that I watch all his fight. So there was no ifs, ands, and buts. There ain't no way out. So you have to prepare yourself for the people who's not going nowhere.
And I would go in the fight, and I was fighting him. I go up and boom, and he hit me. I said, how do you do that? How the fuck you did that? What happened just now? What did I do to fucking fuck up that I got hit like that?
Yeah. You could see in the fight, I mean, you knew your opponent very well, you know, and you could see that you had watched all his fights.
Well,
I mean, that's, you know, studying, but.
Well, it's one of them things where that if Mike, the only person that I'd seen went through the things he went through, that they told him he couldn't. Mike was shorter than everybody, and when he was fighting heavyweight, and in amateur, they made him fight a style that he couldn't do, never get punched. They told him, no, up, stop, get up. When he tried to get low, they make him stop, get up. And so they made him fight straight up like this, and his arm was shorter than people, so how he gonna hit the guy? But somehow he would find a way and get a good one in there and knock him out. So all of a sudden, and so I realized that he been tested more than anybody else. So, but one thing that I knew that inspired me to be heavyweight is called, if Mike can do it, I can do it. I ain't nowhere in the world, if he can become the heavyweight champion, I can, and my arm's longer than his. Now, Mike gonna hit them with big shots, but I had fast hand, and I'm gonna hit him with a lot of shots, because everybody said, what's the difference? I said, well, that's just like George Foreman. They told me he throw boulders. I said, yeah, but I throw a lot of rocks. I'm going to hit him with so many rocks, he ain't going to be able to throw the big one.
What was that like fighting with George, man?
Well, he was so much stronger than me.
That must have been crazy, right?
Well, yeah, he took all the shots. I could boom, and then I hit him one time 18 shots, and he took them like this, and I'm like, and everybody said, well, what happened? I said, long as I'm throwing shots, he gonna stay cover up. So I ain't got to worry about getting hit with nothing if he stay cover up, and that's the whole art of the game. If you hit that guy, the other guy gonna go defense. They're letting you know that you hitting hard, because if you ain't hitting hard, they'll fight with you. So I was willing to go punch with anybody because I had quicker hands. But only person that could match my speed is Mike.
Amazing.
You're awesome counter puncher. You know that counter puncher? Yeah, he's an awesome counter puncher. Probably the best ever.
Wow.
Incredible counter puncher.
That's amazing. How do you train that? Just watching film and understanding what a guy's tendencies are?
No, the thing is that my mom always told me, she said, you don't never know who you are until you get tired. When you get tired, who gon' muster it out? Who willing to go through the unnecessary thing?
Your mother was like a typical Nuke Rockney or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, totally,
like
man.
Nuke Rockney, you know. We gotta do it. We gotta fucking do it.
But my mom was like that with me. She said, boy, stop making up excuses. Either you're gonna fight or you're gonna sit down. Cause I was the youngest one in the family. Every time I go, my brothers and sisters beat me and everything.
That's so
Mama,
funny.
stop complaining.
You know, I know they're reading Alexander the Great and Napoleon. They were afraid of their mothers too.
Yeah.
A couple of those big time guys, they were afraid of their mothers.
They had strong mothers, man.
Yeah, Nero too. He was afraid of his mother.
Wow, that's really interesting. Was there any headbutting in the first fight?
Fuck yeah. Oh, yeah.
You was headbutting.
Yeah, I did headbutt.
My whole thing is that I don't lean my head forward. I realize that you got every time something happens, it's something my mama done told me. She said, now.
Mama used to say
like that. I'm what my mama said, when he headbutt me, you know what? My mama said, just smile, act like it didn't hurt. They won't do it again. But if you show them pain, they would do it again. So you know what? He headbutt me the first time. So everybody said I headbutt. I said, how in the world they gonna say I headbutt when you see him jump off? He jump up and headbutt me. Then he go, oh, like this, and I'm like, I should just common sense. I didn't headbutt him; he headbutt me. Then Mike started telling everybody I'm a headbutter. Then all of a sudden the thing come out, Evander's a headbutter. I said, who in the world who got eyes didn't see that he jumped up and headbutt me? My head hurt too. I was acting like it didn't hurt. Cause my mama told me what's gonna happen if you give in to that, he gonna do it again. So I got into it like okay, yeah, like this, and I said, and it worked. That he ain't headbutt me no more.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Awesome night.
That's so funny.
But what was I like back then? So what kind of guy was I like? Was I like a tough guy talking shit?
Well, no, you were that with everybody else. Now, your other guy was saying that. So when these other guys were saying that, and I was like looking, Mike ain't said nothing. They saying it. Then they started saying, oh, you don't want to tell the truth because you don't want Mike to get mad at you. And I said, oh, they trying to get me to talk where Mike can get mad. Because I know what Mike already said, because I heard Mike tell the people that look, it's hard to be mad with Holyfield because he don't do nothing wrong. He don't do nothing wrong. I realized that, you know what, hey, this job is rough on everybody. But the thing is that I can fight. I get hit a lot, and I can take it. But one thing that I knew, if you hit me, I'm going to hit you back. I'd rather die than sit here and let somebody just hit me, just keep hitting me. I realized that, nah, I don't really want to go to jail because I probably ain't going to get out until I get in there, because they hit me, I'm going to hit them back. And so, as long as I got breath in my body, I'm going to get you back. I'm going to get you back, and so whatever the situation is. So my whole thing is that my mama said, son, the mentality, don't put yourself in a situation, because he said, you get behind them boys, they all going to jump on you. I said, I probably ain't going to get out because I'm going to get them back. But so my mama said, you got to let the revenge be the Lord. Now remember that. They catch the second person all the time.
So tell me, how's your life been since you've been champ and all that stuff? Really, how's life been? Let's say 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and up to now, how's life been?
Life always been great, because the whole big thing is me displaying that I will forgive. Because that's all people ask me, how in the world you can forgive somebody? I say, everything that ever happened, at some point in time I did it. I said, now, Mike bit me. I said, now, I bit somebody too.
Thank you for forgiving me. Thank you.
It just went on TV. I bit somebody, just went on TV.
Did you really?
Yeah. I bit a guy in the shoulder. He dropped me. And I didn't know when you had a concussion, you'll bite too. I said, when the guy dropped me and I got up, and when I got ready to swing it, he grabbed me and I bit him right on the shoulder. Like this, and because as soon as that Mike bit me, and this guy.
That's back then. You doing it for a trophy. We doing it for $50 million. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
But the same thing. You know what the guy said? The guy called me and said, "Do you remember when you bit me?" I said, "I sure did, bitch." I said, "You shouldn't have grabbed me." I nipped him right there on the shoulder.
Did you take a chunk out?
No. My people.
No, listen, that's been like I've been this is so interesting, right? How many people have paid me money to take pictures biting their ear? Yeah. I recouped my $3 million I was penalized for.
Wow. Wow, Mike.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
Trip.
That's crazy. Why would you want me to take a picture biting your ear? That's just crazy.
That's crazy.
And they pay you for it. $250.
I mean, it's gotta be
2,000 people.
It's gotta be one of the most iconic moments in fighting.
Do people take pictures? They want to bite your ear or anything?
Well, they asked. I said, no, I don't. I said, I don't want to remember for that.
Yeah.
I forgave him. I said, I forgave him.
I love that.
I think we're making some ears. You might be in business with. We're gonna make some holy ears, some
edibles.
Ears that got a bite taken out.
A little ear with a bite taken out of it.
Holy ears.
We got to take a mold of your ear, Evander.
Well, I can do that.
All right.
It was just nuts back then. But my life was crazy back then.
It's amazing that you guys have just had this relationship, and you watched each other fight and had a lot of respect for each other, I can tell, and then you fought each other twice. Since
amateurs, we've been watching each other fight.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Amateurs. And how does it feel now, man? How does it feel like having that legacy and just, both of you as champion fighters? Does it feel like it ever happened?
Doesn't it feel like it was a blur to me? I feel like it never, my whole career as boxing, me and a kid learning from cussing, it just disappeared. Most of the people, like probably Evander, some of the guys I fought, if I don't see them, like when Purnell died, that was like a piece of me died. I said, whoa. I remember him when I started boxing. I remember seeing him and just looking up to him. He was such an awesome boxer.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that I always knew that Mike was special because I say, ain't no way in the world he don't did things that nobody ever done in life. I'm talking about for his skin color and all. I guess as Mike was white, then you say, oh, I can understand that. But Mike is black. And so the things that Mike have done, ain't nobody ever done it in this world. So I know that he got a gift. It's almost like when I look at the Bible, I look at Paul. Now, Paul was killing everybody. Then when Paul switched up, and because they knew how Paul was. And so the whole big thing, God used people who they mind is, they do what they say they're going to do. I'm saying, and so all these things that I seen Mike, then I said, wow. I say, you never ever in your life gonna see people who have done the things that he have done. I'm telling you, is Mike like you, he like you. If Mike don't like you, he don't like you. I'm telling you, that's all to it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's the whole art of life. As a person stable enough to know what they like and what they don't like. And God used people who that way. I'm not, my whole thing, I'm not going, certain things I'm not going to do because I don't do it. And I just tell a person, I'm not like that. And, if that's where you want to go ahead, go. I'm like that. And Mike is like, when Mike like, he know what he like, and he know what he don't like. When people know what they like and know, they can be accountable. People like being around with people accountable to what they gonna do. I'm like that. So you understand that this is how it is in life. I never had no problem with anybody who being the way they are. Okay, you that the way, then you ain't got no, just this is the way I am, holy. Okay, then I can love you for who you are. Because the whole big thing, because that's what it is. Because, because that's what life is really about. Can you like people for who they are? Then if you know that you don't like it, then why are you around them? I said, why try to be around somebody you know that you don't like?
We don't know.
I don't want to be around nobody I don't like.
Maybe we don't like them, but we believe we don't like them. Because why are you there? Why are you here? Why have you been here all this time?
Well, I could put up with people. But that's, my mom always told me, she said, look, these are your brothers and sisters. So move away from them, give them a distance where you won't be continue mad with them. Because, you need to give them a distance.
Your mother told you that?
Oh, yeah. You got to get a distance between you and people that
you don't like.
That sometimes,
Yeah, absolutely.
You shouldn't fight your brothers and sisters because you know your brothers and sisters. You know how they are. There ain't no sense pretending that I don't know how you are. So we don't ever have to fight if we respect each other for who they are. And so this is what love have to do. All right, then, when you start acting your way, I go home. I ain't got to spend the night over your house. We ain't got to stay in the same house. We go back. When we're in a disagreement, we split up. Then when we miss each other, then we come back together. You know people, then you know them for who they are, not for what you want them to be. And I think that's the whole success part of a relationship.
Absolutely. That's so good, man.
Mm-hmm. What do you want to do with your life so far now on?
Well, my whole thing now, I'm just trying to get my sons and daughter. I don't have any grandkids.
No grandkids?
Not yet.
No. So looking forward to it?
Well, I'm talking if,
I want some grandkids.
No, but I ain't gonna tell them because I want them to get them, because I want them to know when I become a grandfather, they ain't get nothing. It's going for the grandkids. Like this, because this is what it was to me. So, you having grandkids, when you having kids, they yours. You take care of them. So
It's amazing.
I want grandkids before I get too old.
Yeah.
I want to see them at least a teenager before I die, if I could talk to them and tell them shit what I did when I was their age.
Yeah. You guys would both be some pretty epic grandfathers.
Well, I know I'm gonna be because my whole thing. I think I'm gonna live to 120.
I love it.
So check this out, right? So my son, him and his friends, right? I come by the room one day and I scared them, so they're watching me fight him, biting his ear.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Really?
I said, why are you watching this fucking fight, man? Why you watching? You're fucking sick. This guy on the third round where I bit his ear. I mean,
What'd they say?
No, they were scared.
Oh,
No, it's
they
okay,
were like
Dad.
ashamed that they were watching it?
I caught him watching
Yeah, you
it.
caught him. Oh my God! Where do you live these days, man?
I live in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh wow, okay,
Yeah.
Florida. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
Awesome.
a lot of action in Florida.
not in Fort Lauderdale. In Miami.
No, they got some spots in Fort Lauderdale too.
Well, what I'm saying, but
Don't they got Rolex? They got Rolex in Fort Lauderdale, right? Isn't there a Rolex club there? One of those really bumping booty clubs.
I don't.
Rolex, Timex. I don't know what the club.
Xander's not in there.
Yeah, I ain't in
I
there.
used to love the club. I used to love the dance.
Well, but then you remember I used to fly down here 2 times a week just to dance.
No, they had the hottest girls down here back then when we were younger, Van. Remember they had all the hot chicks down here.
Well,
Had all the hot fucking chicks down here.
Miami, Fort Lauderdale,
This fucking place right here.
L.A.
yeah.
LA, the meanest in the 80s and 90s, early to the meanest place on the planet.
Yeah,
Everybody wants to go here.
I think people still do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Mike, how do you feel having him in here, man?
I feel, wow, that's an interesting feeling. I'm so happy that he's here and that we can talk about this. I wanted to know like he was explaining that Mike don't know anybody. I was explaining, how did he feel about me? He's talking all that fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
Fucking talking bullshit. I'm this and that, I'm gonna do this and that. It's like fucking wrestling. Now that I think about it, it was like fucking WWE.
yes, WWE.
Fucking WWE.
You created that, dude. You created that